Hello friends, in this video we will make one CRUD application and we will make REST APIs and test our REST APIs. So let's begin. First of all, we will create the service and controller packages. So let me create the packages, new package employee.service. Let's create the controller package. Controller. So from inside service package we will make one service file, and the service file is to connect with JPA. Okay, we will write all our business logic in service files, and inside controller we will make our REST APIs. Class employee service. Annotate it with service annotation. Okay, auto wire repository class, sorry, interface. Private employee repo. Now to add data into the database, we need to add one method. So public employee add employee. We need to pass employee object here, so pass it as parameter. Import the employee class. Return employee repo dot save employee. So it will save the employee object into our database. Now if we need to fetch the data, so we need to add one get method. Public return type will be employee. Get employee. Get all method I am creating, get all employees. Later on we will create get employee by ID. So get all methods, so that should be return list of employees. Okay, so make it at list. Import that list. You must import it from util package. Fine. Now return imp repo dot find all. So that will return the list of the employees. Now we need to find the employee by employee ID. So for that, let's create another method. Public employee. For this, return type will be of employee. Get employee. Get employee, and it should take employee ID as a parameter. So integer ID. Now return imp repo dot find by ID. Find by ID. So these are the predefined methods in the JPA. So we are just using this method to interact with our database. So inside that we need to pass ID. Okay, here it's giving an error. Let's fix it. So that find by ID method is returning data as optional. So let's change return type as optional of employee. Okay, now uh, we need to update employee, or we need to delete employee. Okay, so let's create a method to delete the employee. Public for deleting, our return type will be void delete, and the parameter will be id. So we need to delete that particular employee with a specific id. Okay, so we don't need to return anything, we only need to delete. So employee repo dot delete by id, not delete all, delete by id, and inside that we will pass id. So fine, let's save the service file. Now let's create one controller class inside controller package. New class employee controller. Employee controller, mark it as a REST controller. So annotation REST controller at the rate REST controller. Now create the object of service. So we need to call the service methods. So at the rate auto add private employee service, employee service, employee service. So now we need to uh, create the request handler. So here uh, for getting the uh, all the employees, we need to put annotation as get mapping at the rate get mapping, and our URL will be employees public list of employee get all employees. So inside this we don't need to pass any parameter, just return service dot, sorry, it's employee service dot get all employee. Now to get employee with particular id, for that also we need to give annotation as get mapping employee slash id, like whatever id we will pass as parameter, it will return employee with that id only. So public employee return type will be same as it was there in service file, employee get employee by id. So we will pass as path variable id return service employee service dot get employee id. So it's giving error here. Okay, so our return type is optional of employee, so change it with optional of employee. Now the error has been fixed. Now to save the employee, first of all we need to save the employee data inside database. So for saving any data we have to annotate with post mapping employee public employee. It should return after saving. Okay, so put return type as employee, add employee, and that method will request the object of employee. So first of all, annotate it with request body employee return employee service dot add employee. Fine. Now try to delete an employee. So for deleting the data, we need to annotate it with delete mapping delete mapping employee slash put id here public void. We are not going to return anything, so public void delete employee. Here pass id and also annotate it with path variable path variable. Employee service dot delete id. Fine. So now let's check our application. So first of all, save this. Now run this application. So we will test our APIs from Postman. So Postman is a tool from which we can test our REST APIs. Fine. So our URL will be http slash colon localhost http colon slash localhost. So colon by default the Springboot application runs on port number 8080. You can change it from property file, we will check it later. 8080 slash employees OYWS. So let's check what data it's returning. See, here it is returning and it is empty list. So it is returning empty list, as we can see from our database that there is no data inside employee database. Only table has been created for employee, but as of now there is no data. So first of all, we need to save the employee data. So for that, here select post and inside body pass one object of JSON type, pass one data of JSON type. So JSON type, let's first check the attributes of the employee. Here 4 attributes are there: ID, name, address, salary. Fine. So let's go to Postman. ID is of integer type, so make it as 1. Name is of string type, so put any string inside double quotation. So Prabhat is the name of the employee. Then address, give any address, Kolkata. Now give the salary, so salary make it as any integer number you can put. Okay, now try to save the data. So it's giving error, method not allowed. So why method not allowed? Post. Let's check why it's giving error. ID, name, address, AWS and salary. The request post is not supported. So let's check. Go to our controller, employee controller. get mapping, post mapping employee. Okay. Mm, let's go to postman. See what mistake we have done. For saving the data, only employee URL is only employee, not employees. So now hit the send button. So now we can see one object has been returned, and object employee object is returned, and let's check into the database whether it is saved or not. So see here, mm, rows are empty, table is empty. Now try to refresh the schema. Go to the employee table. See, first data came, name, salary, address, everything came here. So let's add more data. ID give to, now rest of all keep it same, or you can change. So database ID2 also came here. So now try to get all the employees. Put get, select get here. Here it has returned the list of the employees. Now let's check in workbench. See, two data has stored in the database. So now try to delete the employee with ID1. Now select delete from here. Employee slash, you need to pass ID here. See here nothing has been returned and status code is okay. And let's check in the database. So yeah, employee with ID1 has been deleted. So that's all in this video. Thank you.